Time to get real. I want to see some crazy Wiz Biz.
What's the magic made out of, ding dong?
I want to see some of that Wiz Biz.
This castle is in unacceptable condition! Unacceptable! Mathematical! Bacon pancake!
Welcome back to the Wiz Biz with Alexx and Erik. This is a podcast about Adventure Time and all sorts of things related to it and frequently unrelated to it. My name is Reverend Erik, and joining me today, as usual, is Alex Bolin. Alex, take it away.
Yes, this is Archduke of the City of Thieves, Alexx Bolin, and that is Reverend Erik. My title is fancier.
Yes. You know what? I'm just not used to running on all fours.
Yeah, so I think your problem is start without the stilts, and then when you get used to running that way, move up to the stilts.
Move up to stilts.
A lot of people, when making the transition from being bipedal, they make the mistake of just going, oh, well, of course I'm going to go to stilts first. I mean, like the mighty
it
giraffe.
makes sense because at least that way your arms and legs can be the same length.
Yes. That's a mistake.
Okay.
Slow transition. Our hips aren't built that way. We have to learn. We have to be humble
the stilts are an eventual thing. They aren't right away.
Yes. So we are doing 2 episodes of season 1, City of Thieves and The Witch's Garden.
Yes, episodes 13 and 14. It's exciting. We're making a lot of progress. Now, I was kind of like, there is some cool stuff in these episodes, but neither of them are really key plot movers in Adventure Time. They're sort of filler episodes. And in fact, even though they introduce a lot of characters, they're all kind of one-offs. I don't think any of them really repeat or come back again.
Let me give that a thought. Yeah, Penny doesn't come back, does she?
No, she should.
Yeah, she feels like someone that would come back.
She was a great character.
The kind of candy cane shaped witch doesn't come back. What about the kind of witch that looks like a tree that says it's a city of thieves?
Oh, yeah. I don't think she ever comes back either.
Huh. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, if you think about it, that's sort of like a spooky announcer character. We had that in the Enchiridion episode. Remember? No, we had it in the Wizard School episode. Remember where the creepy guy shows up and he's like, do you want free magic powers?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You know, so that's sort of like a trope that gets used. That I mean, it's totally a D&D-ish trope. You know, some mysterious NPC shows up and directs you towards adventure. And in this episode, it's a city of thieves, and the tree witch hag. Let's call her the tree hag.
Well, at least they identify her as hag, and they're not corrected. So I feel like that's her, chosen
she's a hag.
Name.
Okay, so
her pronouns are they, them, hag.
They, them, hag.
Yeah.
So when her pronouns, good job there.
Oh, did I do that?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I'm so shit at this. That's not an non-binary thing. I'm just dumb and old.
Oh man, I have a hard time with pronouns also, but I keep trying.
Oh yeah, I make my damn best effort and beat myself up for it every time I fuck up.
Same here. Anyhow, so when the hag shows up, and this is like the City of Thieves is kind of like a morality play episode. A lot of the Adventure Time episodes kind of have this sort of feel to them, especially in the first season, where it's about like Finn being pure, Finn doing the right thing, Finn showing how virtuous he is. And in this one, it's sort of the question of like, what makes you a thief?
And there's also the runner between both episodes of Jake's impulse control issues. Like Jake actually like kind of deep down is a villain.
He is. I guess he's
or at least a light level villain.
Yeah, I feel like he's probably too lazy to be a villain, which is good. But I think that for a long time he is, and we've talked about this before. He's basically Finn's babysitter. He wouldn't, and we see later that he would not be hanging out with Finn all the time if he didn't have magic powers. Right, like that's definitely one of the things we see in episode 14.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but we have to get through 13 first before we talk about that.
There's some fun stuff in here. So they find this this dirty little street urchin called Penny, and she claims that her flower basket has been stolen because the entire city is a city of thieves. And there's a nice little runner of Finn saying that he's going to beat my purity into them. And then Jake's response is, then I'm going to beat your purity out of them, which is, it's a weirdly sexual joke, I think.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's also, a joke that it might make sense to Finn, but it doesn't really make sense in real life. But then he just runs around the city punching thieves. And everybody in the city's a thief.
Well, that's, I guess, the morality question of this. If you're, like, much like we were talking about with magic, whether if you're from a realm that magic is normal, is it magic anymore?
Mm-hmm.
If you're in a city where everybody is a thief, are you no longer a thief? Since that's the rule of action. That's the accepted bylaws of the city, is that everyone's a thief. Is it no longer thievery and therefore no longer wrong or morally incorrect?
Well, except that we discover that there is a definition of thievery that is somehow defined by magic, because at the center of the City of Thieves, there is the King of Thieves Tower, which is protected by a magical force field that thieves can't pass.
Yeah. But I guess it's like cultural relativism, where if something is taboo in your land, but you go to their land, is it morally wrong for you to participate?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Like, going to wherever in Asia they eat dog or whatever. It's not wrong for them. Is it therefore wrong for you if you live there, or, that's the society you're in?
So it's still some sort of switch that gets flipped in your magical makeup or whatever, because if you become a thief, you still can't pass that magic force field.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's an interesting conundrum. And also, by the end of the episode, Penny and Finn and Jake have been purified through soap. Does soap wash away your thieving sin? Could they then pass the force field, do you think?
Yes, because he feels purified by the end.
So do you think it's mental?
No, because Jake didn't think he was a thief, and he tried walking through the barrier.
Right, and Finn didn't know he was a thief, and he tried walking through the barrier.
Yeah, so it's got to be some kind of, like, actual... It's got to be like how the Catholics think of sin, where if they, like, wash your head a little bit, it goes away. This is very much a baptism metaphor. Baptism
by magic soap in a cave.
Yeah, which, I mean, is no more weird than a baptismal fountain.
At least there's soap.
It's true. I haven't been baptized in a while. I don't think there was soap in there.
Yeah, I've never been baptized, but I'm pretty sure they don't use soap. Because, yeah, that would be weird.
The soap of Christ.
So one of the things that I love about this is, first of all, there's this concept that, like, the flower basket that the whole quest is about, Penny's flower basket. How, like, Finn is so bad at connecting the dots here. Like, how would that flower basket possibly have made it into that tower?
That's true. I actually hadn't really thought about how the gullibility factor of this is.
Yeah.
Well, it's, I think season 1 Finn is a very gullible little boy.
Yeah, that's true. He's only like, 10 or something like that. 13? I don't know. He's a baby. He's very young.
I feel like
I think he's 10.
I don't remember anymore.
Anyhow, he's just a kid.
I don't remember anymore. I said that like a disillusioned teen in like a 50s movie. Oh, shucks. I don't even believe in Sandy Claus anymore.
So there's that scene, where right at the beginning where they're chasing down the flower basket, where they kind of get a hint of it, and they're chasing all over the city, and the city is inside the dome of a giant turtle thing.
Yes.
So it's dark and gloomy in there, and there's all these buildings built up and stuff, and it's just this kind of fun romp. But there's this, and they spot the flower basket, and they're sort of chasing it along, and different thieves of different fantastical makeup and shape and form have it, and sometimes they'll yell at name like, "Crossbow guy, I'll get you," or whatever. But one of them is this wizard who says, "Pancakes, pancakes, pancakes," and turns into a cat.
Yes.
Which is referred to in a later episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's some episode down the line, a few seasons from now, there'll be like a book of spells, and if you pay attention to the book of spells, it'll say this spell, pancakes, 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 turns you into a cat.
Oh, that's funny. I wonder what if you say bacon pancakes as an incantation, if that turns you into like a bacon cat or one of those Nyan cats from back in the internet.
I hope so. I'm not going to try it. Although I've said pancakes, pancakes, pancakes several times now, and I'm not a cat.
I mean, really examine it, you know. I mean, you got whiskers.
I got whiskers. I like to poop in boxes.
You've recently taken to walking on all fours.
I've recently taken. Damn it! Pancakes never again.
You keep every time you see me, you keep batting me in the leg for some reason, then rubbing your chin against it.
I've ruined tons of furniture in my time.
Well, you know, whatever. You gotta get your scent on it somehow. I do like in this episode as well. We reference the Jake stealing out of, I don't know, his subconscious need to steal. Mm-hmm. But I do like that what he steals are like beautiful red boots that just don't work. Like he doesn't wear clothes in the first place.
Yeah, like what would he ever use them for?
Yeah. There's a weird thing in both these episodes. We'll get to the next one, but like both these episodes, Jake has this like inner darkness or whatever come out. And both these episodes, he also feels the need to wear fanciful clothing.
He does. So they finally bring the treasure out when Finn finally gets the treasure out of that witch king or the king of thieves. You know what that reminds me of? You know, when he descends into the crypt and he finds the king of thieves there, like the giant skeleton on the throne.
Yeah.
It reminds me so much of that scene from Conan the Barbarian. You know, where Conan is running away from the wolves near the beginning of the movie. I think it's before he's had any lines. And he's running away from the wolves. He climbs up the rocks. He fights off some of the wolves. But he's hopelessly outmatched, and he finds a cave in the rocks, and he falls down into it, and he enters into this place where there's this giant king, and that's where he gets his sword.
Oh boy, I don't remember that at all. I haven't seen that movie in a really fucking long time.
I feel like for my birthday, John and Alex Hate Stuff needs to do Conan the Barbarian.
I mean, we did Red Sonja.
Yeah, that's not the same.
I mean, we could probably do Conan the Barbarian.
You should. I feel for my birthday, I would like a special episode for my birthday.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Okay. Awesome.
By the way, I have another podcast called John and Alex Hate Stuff where we discuss movies.
Yes, it's a good one.
Yeah.
But the treasure had a Game Boy in it.
That's true.
Which was kind of cute. And you know, it made me think of BMO immediately, but it was definitely a Game Boy and not one of the Mo's.
One of the things that this season is, we talked about it a bit in episode 1, I think, of kind of being a little reticent to go into this season because it's so early and the characters aren't established and yada yada. The one thing I am missing is BMO. Although BMO has made some appearances across the season, it's not but I'm a little boy BMO. It's actually just a gaming system that I think maybe has shown some signs of sentience, but we haven't got like BMO dialogue or like the BMO that we come to know and love, and I miss my little boy.
Has there been any BMO dialogue? I mean, the last time I remember seeing BMO was when Marceline was playing BMO.
I don't know if there's been dialogue. I think there's been like an emoji on his face.
Huh.
Like, I think with Marceline, maybe he got like a little smiley face or something.
Which means BMO isn't really an active character yet.
No, not yet. BMO is weird. Just like an old video game system.
That's weird because, this is going to be probably not this episode of our podcast, but next episode of our podcast, we're going to have to get into that.
Why? What's next episode of the show?
Nestor is coming up.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. He's not one of my favorite characters.
He's not mine either, but we'll talk about that next episode.
Yeah. Okay.
So they purify each other and everything's all good. And at the end of the episode, this is where Adventure Time kind of their morality tales always have like a bit of a gray area at the end.
Yeah.
At the end of the episode, Penny's purified, Finn and Jake are purified, and Penny steals all of Finn's clothes.
Yeah. It's such a great scene. Like, you can tell something's going on. But Finn's just beaming. He's like, oh my God, I'm such a successful hero. And then Jake's like, why are you naked?
It is, it's a fun ending, but it goes back to the question of our purity thing. Like, was she purified or is she from the City of Thieves and her natural nature is to be a thief?
I mean, she was such a mastermind of manipulation. You know, Penny manipulated Jake to get what she wanted. Jake was going to, or not Jake, Finn, she manipulated Finn to get what she wanted. And then once Finn finally tracked her down, Finn wanted to kick her ass, and Penny manipulated them again and being like, oh, you successfully purified me. And then she was like, I got to escape before they figure it out.
Yeah. This goes back to the my kind of running thing that I've developed over the course of the show is that does Pendleton Ward think all women are manipulative? I mean, I guess this is a little girl, not a woman, but because we've established that Tree Trunk's manipulative, we've established Princess Bubblegum manipulative, Penny manipulative. It's hard to say that word so many times.
I mean, I would guess that every character we've seen is manipulative except for Finn and Jake.
Not the Ice King. He's
That's
kind of on the surface
true.
of what his actions are.
That's true. That's true. The Ice King is on the surface. We haven't seen Billy yet, but
Wait, did we not have? Oh no, Billy's not in the Enchiridion episode.
no, he's not. We learn about him and the connection to the Enchiridion later. But yeah, I think I think it's unfair to point out women as being the manipulative ones. I think that when it comes to the villains in Adventure Time, the male villains tend to be so stupidly powerful that they don't have to be manipulative. Yeah. Right?
Though now that I think about it, I guess Ricardio was manipulative.
Ricardio was incredibly manipulative.
Yeah.
The Lich, even though the Lich is super powerful, is also very manipulative in a very sly.
Yeah, I guess maybe we just got
way.
introduced to him in a weird order that I've developed this theory.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
No, that's not it.
Oh, that's not it.
There's one really, really important thing. So near the end of the episode, when Finn realizes that he's become a thief, and he and Jake are, covered in dirt and stuff, and they make this whole joke, that they're gonna, or it's not a joke. They make the statement that they're gonna go, purify themselves. It gets dark. It gets very dark, almost Batmanish, right? Like, oh, we're gonna go rid this city of thieves once and for all. Jake goes, "Cowabunga," and Finn says, "Cowabunga indeed." And as they're going down into their adventure, Finn grabs a couple of sai.
Oh,
from
nice.
The from just from the scenery, and so he's fighting with sai. It's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reference.
That's funny, and they're inside of a big ass turtle.
Yeah,
well picked up.
The whole episode is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle reference, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of like that weird tower that Krang hung out in is the City of Thieves.
Yeah, I was thinking more of the comic book and not the cartoon.
The
cartoon is kind of crap, but the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic strip, or the comic book, was pretty dark and gritty, and had that kind of like, it seemed like it should be lighthearted, but instead it was all, violence and mayhem.
Yeah, it was. They were making fun of Daredevil and just going way more over the top.
Yeah, Cowabunga.
Which, by the way, people at home, if you didn't know that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a direct not ripoff, but like a satire of Daredevil, is like his master Splinter is Stick. Mm-hmm. The foot are the hand, et cetera, et cetera. Those are the two off the top of my head. But like, it's literally, that's what the comic originally was. And I don't think I knew that until years later, because I grew up in Ninja Turtles. And then I read Daredevil years later, and I was like, what's happening here? This is...
Yeah, I guess what we're trying to say, for those of you at home, if you didn't know that already, there is a wonderful world of Wikipedia articles and like comic book articles about this that you will have a good time.
Yeah, see Eastman and Laird.
Yes. Oh yeah, and also there is Phil Face in this episode. One of the thieves has Phil Face.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I didn't notice Phil Face. So, Eric, I have a segment we're going to do real quick that might get cut from the show.
All right.
I brought up the Cartoon Network's webpage that has the official Adventure Time Ultimate Trivia Quiz.
Ooh.
And I think between the two of us, let's see how we do.
Okay.
Unless this takes a really long time and then this is getting cut.
Okay.
Princess Bubblegum's first name. Bendy, Betty, Bonnabelle, or Bluebell?
Bonnabelle.
Okay.
Oh, it's multiple choice?
Yeah, it's only 15. So we're probably going to get a lot of this right.
Okay.
Which of these were not a member of the Vampire King's court? I think that should be was.
Yeah, it should be was.
Yeah. Which of these were not a member of the Vampire King's court? The Fool, the Hermit, the Moon, the Hierophant?
The Fool.
Yeah. No, we're wrong.
Huh?
Oh, it doesn't give us the right answer. I think the Hierophant might be.
No, there was a Hierophant.
Was
Wasn't
there?
there?
Oh, I don't know.
It must have been the Hermit then.
Oh, these are the questions we shouldn't have said anything. Now we're going to get them all wrong.
Oh, no.
How old is Finn by the time of the Great Gum War?
16.
16 feels good to me, and you're wrong.
Oh.
I mean, we're wrong.
Damn.
I had no guess. What's the title of the first Adventure Time episode? Trouble in Lumpy Space, Slumber Party Panic, Tree
Slumber
Trunks,
Party Panic.
or Slime Central. Slumber Party Panic is correct. I should click that first just in case. What's the name of the book that the rules for being a hero?
Enchiridion. Okay, we knew a few of them.
What's the name of Princess Bubblegum's little brother? Deddy, Freddy, Eddie, or Neddy?
What?
Princess Bubblegum's little brother, that weird thing that's got the juice that lives under the castle?
Oh, God. Nettie.
Neddy. Sure. Correct. What's the name of Marceline's pet poodle?
Marceline is a pet poodle?
I guess so. Fluffums, Doodle the vampire poodle, Schwabble, or Fang?
Fang.
Fang feels right. Oh, we're wrong.
Ugh.
And it doesn't give us the right answer. Shit.
That's okay. We're going to watch the episode eventually.
What are the stories told by Cuber called?
Graybles.
Graybles, yeah. What's the name of the card game Jake likes to play?
Is it like Battlezone or...
We got Card Wars, Go Fish, Deck Battles, or Poker.
Card Wars.
Card Wars sound right. Yeah, Deck Battles was somewhat tempting. Which of these is not one of Jake's pups? Charlie, Bronwyn, Kim Kil-hwan, or TV? There's pictures of them if it helps.
There are pictures of them?
Yeah, I can't really move my monitor.
Well, what do you think? I want to say...
No, Charlie, I think, is the one he plays...
Was it TV?
Cards with. TV doesn't seem familiar to me. Let's go with TV.
Okay.
Nope, wrong.
It must be Kim Kil-hwan.
That one I was pretty sure. Which arm did Finn lose?
Oh, fudge. His right arm.
Right? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Correct. What instrument does Jake play? Viola.
Viola.
What is Susan Strong's real last name?
Oh, I don't remember. What are the choices?
Kara, Sarah, Lara, or Mara?
Mara.
Sure. Nope.
Oh.
I didn't even have a guess. What's the name of Princess Bubblegum's uncle? Gumbald, Gumfall, Gumwad, or Gumball?
Gumbald.
Gumbald, yes. And last question. Who is Minerva Campbell?
Minerva Campbell, isn't that
It's either
ice elemental?
It's either Finn's aunt, Finn's mom, Finn's sister, or Finn's cousin. I think it's Finn's mom.
It's actually Finn's mom. Okay, yeah, I got her mixed up with some.
All right, we got that one right.
Okay, how do we do?
10 out of 15. You're an Adventure Time trivia master. Algebraic. No one knows the land of Ooh like you. Congratulations.
God, I feel like we didn't do well enough. There was someone there.
I wonder what happens if we hit play again. Is it the same questions?
That played music.
Yeah, I didn't mean for that to happen. Yeah, it's the same questions, just a different order.
Okay.
All right, so that was our quiz of Alexx and Erik don't do particularly well, but not all that badly at an Adventure Time quiz.
If you have Adventure Time trivia questions out there, though, that you would like for us to answer, feel free to email them to us or tweet us, and we will answer them on the show, and then you can email or tweet us afterwards and tell us how we did.
Yes, you can tweet us at Wiz Biz Podcast.
Yes.
And our email is wizbizpodcast@gmail.com.
It is. Yeah, which I actually haven't checked in a while. Have you checked our email lately?
I think so.
But I have been spending a lot of time on our Twitter, and that has been really, really fun. One of the things that I have found that is just super delightful is there is a whole world of like fan-produced Adventure Time art, and it's amazing. And probably some of the best of it is...
Pornographic.
I haven't...
No, sorry.
I haven't looked for Adventure Time pornography because gross.
Yeah.
But I have there's a lot of bubbling art, sort of people fan
shipping.
Yeah. Shipping. People shipping the Marceline bubblegum pairing, which does sort of happen by the end of the show.
Yeah, it's official. I think one of the HBO Max originals, they're like living together and shit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And but there's just so much good art for it. It's pretty amazing, and that's been kind of a delight to come across. So yeah, go follow us on Twitter, because if you've got bubbling art and you tag us, we will retweet you. And all 12 of our followers, I think we've got almost 30 followers now. All 30 of our followers will see it.
Here's a segment. Alex checks how many followers we have live on Twitter. I think we got more than 30.
Do we have more than 30? That would surprise me.
We don't. We got 27.
27. Maybe by the next episode we'll have 30.
Well, to be fair, audience at home, we should point out that we record these way in advance.
Very true.
So there's only been 3 episodes of the show posted while we're recording this, and this is episode 7.
Yeah. So you're not going to be hearing this one probably until nearly Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit. So that number hopefully will be
Up to
35.
Yeah, maybe 36.
Yeah.
Let's do one more segment before we head into the witch's garden.
Yes, though that does sound like the kind of foreplay I had in high school.
Really? Were there donuts?
No, just one more segment before I headed into the witch's garden.
Oh, God.
That's 2 episodes in a row that had, like, really cringy sex puns.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Whew.
That's what you tune in to listen to 2 middle-aged men talk about a cartoon show, is Alex's dumb sex jokes.
I hope Steph can handle all these.
Yeah.
So, let's do the segment that we like to call, What Are You Working On?
What are you working on? I'm going to go first.
Okay. What are you working on?
I am working on 2 different podcasts, and that's it.
How has John and Alex Hate Stuff been doing? You guys did Akira recently.
We did do Akira, which was really fun.
That sounds awesome.
It was super interesting to revisit that movie. It holds up really well for I think we're past the time that it was set in. So it came out in like the
I think it takes place in 2012.
I think it's like 2019.
Is it?
But either way, it's it was written in like the early 80s, and I think the movie came out in like 88-ish. So watching it after the future, was interesting. But man, some of the art really holds up. The story's still solid. It's like some of the violence still hits real nice. Like in a world that violence has become so much more prevalent and easy to watch and just so much more in your face all the time. It still carries some oomph in that movie. So yeah, highly recommend watching Akira, and I even more highly recommend listening to the John and Alex Hate Stuff episode wherein we discuss Akira.
I'm excited. I've downloaded it, but I haven't listened to it yet. But I saw Akira for the first time in Japan in 1989.
Really?
Yes, it was on a Laserdisc player. Okay, this is a very, very long time ago, but I swear that this Laserdisc player had the ability to play Japanese out of one speaker and English out of the other speaker.
Whoa.
I don't know if that's true or if I'm just remembering poorly, but I was blown away. Like, I had no idea animation like that could exist, and it didn't before Akira. There was never animation that smooth with that many frames per second with that that quality, and also it was like one of those big like rear projection TVs, so the TV was bigger than I was used to. I was experiencing all this brand new technology and watching the most amazing animation that had ever been produced.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Why were you in Japan?
Oh, I had to run away. I was evading the law.
Oh, cool.
You know how it is.
Yeah. So just vacation or something?
It was a student exchange thing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah, it was fun. I learned some Japanese and forgot almost all of it. I can say, Aisu kurimu o kurasai. And I can say, Hajimemashite dozo yoroshiku.
Yeah, I don't know any of those words. Oro?
Can you ara ara?
No.
So
Erik,
yes.
What are you working on?
Well, I'm also working on 2 podcasts. The Arnimancy podcast, it took a bit of a break during the summer, primarily because my normal life got super busy and then I went on my trip. But I'm back on that. I've released the second to last Agrippa episode, so I just have one more of those to do. I'm very excited about that. And I've started scheduling interviews for my next season. So
cool.
I'm gonna be getting into that in October. That's been going really well. And I've also been working on my planetary magic class again. We talked about this. I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast, but I have a planetary magic course that I was teaching through my website and sort of promoting through my podcast maybe like 2 years ago. Year and a half ago. I don't remember what year it happened in.
Yeah, I think we talked about this on the Alex Cast.
Yeah. So I created a pentacle for the podcast to help us become super successful.
Yes, it is sitting on the table that we record on.
Yep.
I've got a little, for the audience at home, I've got a little altar on the table with the 4 elements represented. Just sits there. That's what it's there for,
Yep.
And we've now added this pentacle on top of it.
Yeah, so the Solomonic pentacles, which come out of the Key of Solomon, like an old grimoire that got really, really popular at the end of the 1800s. if you know anything, if you spent enough time around the occult, you've definitely seen these pentacles. They're associated with the planets. So I made one of the pentacles of Jupiter. Sometime in the 20th century, these pentacles started to be used in American folk magic. So I've been kind of experimenting with that a little bit. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, we'll find out, I guess.
Yeah.
But then, if the show does get like super successful and wonderful.
Oh, it was my fault then.
Yeah, but who knows? Is it by the sweat of our brow, or is it by the magic of old King Solomon?
Maybe both. Maybe we may never know. That's the thing about magic. You don't know if it works. You don't know if it's doing the work or if you're doing the work, or if you did the work making the magic happen, and it's just part of the whole thing.
Never heard it more clearly spoken.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. On that note, make sure to recommend us if you like the show, because we don't have sponsors or do any of that stuff. So
and we have a magic pentacle, so help us make the magic work.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad you're doing more planetary magic stuff. I remember when that was happening.
Yeah. I'm excited to kind of like reformulate that and do it again because I've been working with Agrippa so much that I've bound to have learned some new things.
Have I already done like a really gross Agrippa insert something gross here joke?
Let's say yes, because I don't want to hear it.
Okay. Everybody just imagine, just mad lib that one for.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's time. It's time for us to finally wander into the witch's garden.
Yes.
just like Alexx in high school.
Exactly. Gross. What a bad joke. We open the episode with a bit of cuteness in which Jake, and what's the little kid's name?
Finn?
Finn, yeah. So Jake and Finn are following a frog, and Finn, the frog for some reason is carrying a crowd.
Yeah, because why not?
Yes,
it must be the Frog King.
And Finn I just want to see him put on that crowd, which is, as much as I am I'm old, I'm jaded, I don't, adorable doesn't affect me. Every now and again, the show's adorable. And that's some adorable.
Adorable
right
totally affects you. It's you have a BMO toy here with us.
Well, the BMO toy is
adorable.
It is.
Yes.
But I called it something, I think, not the patron saint of the Alexx cast. I don't know. I gave BMO some vaulted title towards the end of the Alexx cast for no good reason.
So I feel like, I might have misrepresented myself earlier. I really have to get something off my chest, Alexx.
Is it a treasure chest?
Yes.
Awesome.
I just have to tell you this. I don't know what poison smells like.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I've smelled a lot of donuts.
Well, you took the right mason jar, right? Yeah, well, just give a sniff. Yeah. I believe cyanide is meant to either taste or smell a bitter almond.
Yeah. But I think that's a taste thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not very helpful.
Mm-hmm. So anyhow, Jake also doesn't know what poison smells like?
Yeah, truth. So they chase this frog and they find a weird donut garden, which of course they do. And there's a fun thing. It's like, I'll sniff the donuts to find out if they're poison or not. And it's like, wait a second, dude, I don't know what poison smells like. It's a really good point.
Yeah. I mean, I love though, the donut garden. The donut garden is so Adventure Time-ish. Like they're basically, most of their adventures are taking place either in the Candy Kingdom or like in the borderlands of the Candy Kingdom right now. So of course there's a donut garden.
Yeah.
And of course that witch is shaped like a candy cane. I bet you she's a candy cane witch.
That's my question. Is she just a wizened old crone that her back is bent from all her years being alive, or is this just that's her natural shape? Like when she was young, she looked like that. Yeah,
I think that's probably her natural shape because remember, Finn is the last human.
Yes, but she could kind of look human, and
could. But I think if you took off her witch robe, she would be like a candy cane underneath.
I mean, we could probably search for that on the internet and say witch taking off her clothes, Adventure Time, and come up with really wholesome results.
Very wholesome results.
Yes, there will be no Rule 34 there at all. So he gets this wizened old crone or somebody that's 25, and that's just what she looks like. Mm-hmm. And Jake cannot control himself, much like the red boots in the previous episode. He just finds himself eating a donut outside of his own control.
Oh yeah, he doesn't even know he's doing because he didn't eat a donut before conversation with the witch started, before the witch showed up and accused them of eating donuts, he had not eaten a donut.
Well, who knows? Maybe he did, and we just didn't see it.
I suppose. But then, like, halfway through the conversation, he's like, "Oh shit, I've been eating a donut this whole time." Yeah. And so, the witch takes his powers away, and I don't think, because of some of the stuff that we see the witch do, I don't think the witch actually takes Jake's powers away as much as has some sort of glamour spell or something that replaces Jake's body with the man-baby body.
Yeah, because she also replaced the body of a bagel that she finds on her donut tree with the body of a man-baby. Which is a fun gag.
I think that's kind of some sort of, I don't know if it's transmutation or what, but what I think, so here's...
I think it's transubstantiation. I think that's...
Transubstantiation?
Yeah, I think that's actually the body of Christ.
The man-baby.
I'm being so blasphemous this episode. I apologize to all...
No, it totally makes sense because you see so many like pre-Raphaelite paintings of Jesus where he basically has a man-baby body.
And pre-Raphaelite, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh my god, and Raphael's favorite weapon was the sigh.
And I'm going to sigh because of how stupid this theory is.
Holy shit, no, this
this
all
is all
comes
coming
together.
Yeah. Fucking synchronicities, right?
I have to go buy a copy of Catcher in the Rye.
Have you ever had that moment where you kind of disassociate while you're talking and think about the audience? And I was just thinking about I was just referring to a bagel that turns into a baby and how that's actually the transubstantiated body of Christ. And all of this makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
But imagine someone that hasn't seen this episode of Adventure Time. And like, let's say this is their first episode listening to our show. How batshit and deep the layers of knowledge you need to understand what just exchanged between the two of us.
I really feel like... given the wide range of like batshit crazy shit we talk about in this show, it would probably be a really good show for people who are on LSD.
Oh man, that sounds... I mean, that could be either great or like the worst thing ever.
Very true. And I mean, we haven't even gotten to the weirdest episodes yet. They get so much deeper and weirder. Like these are kind of shallow episodes. Except for the River of Junk, which is actually pretty deep, but we haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah. Well, wait, let's circle back. Okay. So Jake gets cursed and has his body turned into the body of like a little fat baby. Mm-hmm. Behind the scenes, and obviously you don't have the answer to this because you didn't work on Adventure Time. Why do you think they kept his face looking like Jake?
Well,
let me add a little bit to the question.
Okay.
I cite the episode of Futurama where Bender turned into a human. And gets totally fat and then it just dies.
Yeah.
But Bender's face turned human as well.
Okay.
So this is accepted cartoon law whether you can choose your own character. So do you think that in this show they decided to not make his face a baby face or a human face for character recognition? Was it too difficult? Was it just funnier?
I think part of it was that it was funnier. I think part of it had to do with the witch's magic. And I think a big part of it had to do with how powerful Jake's magic is, which I will get to in a second.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyhow.
Well, and I just one more point about him turning into a baby. I do like that he feels his own boobs and goes, "Didn't I used to have a bunch more of these?" Fun joke. Very fun joke. Enjoyed it a lot. 5 comedy points.
That joke came straight out of Alex's high school.
Yes. Well, my high school girlfriend did have 6 nipples. Yeah.
Right, because of like the Jersey Devil.
Yes, she was a descendant of the Leeds family. That's a joke for 7 people in New Jersey that know the background of the Jersey Devil.
So, one of the things that I really like about there's a couple things about the Witch's Garden that I really like that I think that there might be some deeper Adventure Timey or things in here. So, they get back to the treehouse. Finn and Jake get back to the treehouse, and they're like, "Oh shit, Jake, you've lost your magic powers. Where did they come from?" So this question of like Jake's origin story, it ends up being like one of the core parts of Adventure Time. Like, we're not going to talk about his real origin now, except that the mud puddles are totally bullshit. Like, Jake did not get his magic powers from a mud puddle.
I did find it funny that he's like, I'm trying to remember how I got my magic. He gets the memory of one time I went in a mud puddle and somehow that's the solution. Oh, that must be it. Because I remember being young and be like, I think my first memory, I have like a vague memory of being in my, kind of crib area or whatever. Like I have this, sense memory of that time. If you go, "Hey, Alex, how'd you become a writer?" I wouldn't go, "Well, I was in a crib, so therefore writer." There's just like this.
Oh shit! I have a podcasting origin story. Ask me how I became a podcaster.
Hey, Eric, how did you become a podcaster?
Well, when I think back, like my earliest memory, I was playing with my parents' stereo. And of course, I was a baby. I was just like fiddling knobs, but I turned the volume knob all the way up and scared myself. And so now I'm a podcaster.
That makes more sense than Mud Puddle.
It does. But also, I think we all know that's not why I'm a podcaster. I got turned into a podcaster against my will. Werewolf rules.
Mm-hmm. Weirdly, Eric doesn't know this, but I snuck into his room before we met and bit him and gave him podcaster germs. So yeah, Jake's powers we eventually do get like a explanation, might be a stretch, but like years from now, in Showtime and in our Showtime, we get an explanation. But yeah, this one, they're working on the assumption that you have to roll around in mud. And so they start searching for mud puddles, and Jake is reticent to do it because
there are 4, maybe 5 mud puddles in you.
Yeah. I like how Jake is immediately incredibly lazy the second he turns, in quotes, human.
Yeah, yeah. What is it? He has this great line where he's like, I'm lazy but prideful. It's like you can't use but there because you're basically saying, I've got this one vice, but it's okay because I got this other one.
What do you think Lady Rainicorn would have thought about this if she saw Jake with the baby body?
Oh my God.
It's like that question, like the meme thing on the internet of like the girl asking her boyfriend, if I got turned into a worm, would you still love me?
Oh, I think, Lady Rainicorn has a really, really good heart. And she sees the good in Jake, even though we can't. I think she would have helped him. I think that if Lady Rainicorn... So I guess one of the things we skipped over is that like in order for Jake to get his powers back, he has to give the witch a meaningful apology. And that's what he sort of refuses to do. He's like, no, I'm not apologizing for eating a donut. Like, blah, 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 blah. And that's sort of what leads to the quest and all this kind of stuff. I think Lady Rainicorn would have been able to talk Jake down, would have been able to reason him through it. And I think the episode would have been really, really boring because you would have had this initial thing where Jake loses his powers and Lady Rainicorn would have gotten him to apologize a lot sooner.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad it didn't happen that way. I was just kind of positing the question, mostly because, technically she's dating a baby for a little bit.
Yeah. That's true.
Well, it's a baby with an adult mind, though. So
yeah, and honestly, when Jake is around Lady Rainicorn, we don't really see it in the first season, but in subsequent seasons, like he is so much more mature acting when he's around Lady Rainicorn.
Yeah. I like the way you say that, by the way. Subsequent.
Oh, thanks. Subsequent.
I say subsequent. I think we're both right. I just I like that. You got like a slightly different.
I might say both.
Oh, either way. Good job. Proud of you.
Thanks. Oh yeah. So there is no Lady Rainicorn. Instead, they have to figure this out on their own, and they go on a quest. And there is some cool stuff. Like that river of junk is totally part of that post-apocalyptic landscape theme that we brought up over and over.
Oh yeah. So the river junk in the background, you see the I'm going to say pylons, but the things that highways are held up by. Is that a pylon?
Yeah, it is now.
Yeah. There's a sequence of those. So like they're next to an old, the remains of an old highway, which, I mean, that's like probably one of the more direct, like, infrastructurally, this used to be a human area thing that we've seen early on.
Oh yeah. And even the river of junk, I mean, it's filled with, it looks like an apartment building just washed into this river. And it's just filled with like old furniture and, boards and planks and, stuff that's recognizably left over from like the early 21st century.
And a little pink hat with a flower in it that Jake decides to put on.
Okay, so this is, I think, a clue to how powerful Jake actually is. His subconscious, his magical powers are suppressed. They're not gone. They manifest through his subconscious because how did he get the hat?
I thought you just picked it up from the pile.
His subconscious grabbed it from the middle of the river and brought it to him.
Oh, that's a really good point.
Yes, I think Jake is still there. I think his magic powers are still there. I think that the baby body is some sort of illusion that is impressed on him. But his magic powers are way bigger than the Garden Witch's powers.
Oh, okay. I like this. I like this theory a lot. Because there's the kind of thing at the end where his subconscious starts to die, and that's what causes him to apologize.
Yeah.
But that might be subterfuge.
Yeah.
So this fits in well with that.
Yeah, I mean, and he has a lot of interactions with his subconscious, including like dancing with it and all those kinds of stuff. I think that he's probably just dancing with himself. His magic is probably still there. It's just covered up with illusion.
So in the garbage river, we find the beautiful mermaid of the river,
Gary,
which is Gary
the mermaid.
I don't know what that means.
That's her name.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Said Gary? Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
And she announced herself by, which one of you mortals wants to mate with all this?
I know, it's so gross.
It's so gross. And Finn's response of like, how do I say you're the grossest thing that's like I've ever seen without being insulting or something along those lines? It's really delightful.
I can't wait to use that line, that retort on somebody in the future. How do I say you're the grossest thing that I've ever seen without being insultful? Or insulting.
Yeah, insultful. Interesting.
Insultful.
So yeah, they cross the garbage river. The mermaid steals Finn and throws him in her nest, or at least there's a nest there. She's made of bone, so I don't know how she possibly
how does she even have a nest?
I don't know. I mean, because I looked, I saw no cloaca.
And also she had like a normal human pelvis.
That's true.
Like I mean, if you haven't seen the episode,
technically humans lay eggs.
Yeah, but on the inside, I don't know. It didn't look right.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's true.
And it's also hilarious that Gary, the mermaid queen, is nothing like a mermaid. Like,
oh, not at all. Yeah.
Yeah. She's some sort of weird ghost creature that flies around and is like mostly skeleton.
This is going to be months old controversy at the time, but at the time of recording, there's currently a mermaid controversy going on in the United States.
Oh my God.
Wherein they've made a live action version of The Little Mermaid, and the Little Mermaid is a person of color. And people are really mad because she's not a white lady. It's a fucking mermaid. Like, adults are mad at this.
It's not a controversy. It's just that there's a bunch of racists. Like, we've known this. Like, ever since the Trump shit happened, racists feel okay about being loudly racist. So it's just the same crap. It's just racists being noisy and asshole-ish.
But I mean, here's the thing that I'm annoyed with. Ursula has been purple for like 35 years, and now it's played by a white lady. I mean, come on, purple washing much?
But maybe they'll paint her purple.
No, I don't give a shit. I was fond of that movie as a child, but I'm an adult now, and
Ursula should be purple.
Who cares? I mean, I just mean like skin color. Like, who cares? It's a fucking mermaid.
No, I feel like Ursula should absolutely be purple. The Little Mermaid is a Danish fairy tale, and everybody knows that in Denmark, all of the intimidating female antagonists are purple. It's just part of their culture.
Everything from Ursula to the other example. So Jake declares that he'd rather be powerless forever than apologize.
Yeah.
For he is a magical dog of hubris.
Yes.
Which is weird because that's not really his character for most of the show, but whatever.
It really isn't.
For this episode it is.
I mean, what was the... have we gotten to the episode where he's like, on a tropical island, on a tropical island?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah. But he's so laid back most of the time. Like, him being too prideful to apologize is kind of out of character.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of this first season stuff where it's just kind of the character. I mean, it's not as bad as other shows, but it is just, this is the episode we want to write, and his character's going to be like that for this one.
Yeah, I guess they spend a lot of time. Yeah, I'm not sure that they were super worried about continuity in the first season.
Yeah, totally. So Finn being imperiled causes Jake to, I don't know, I guess waddle all the way back to the donut garden.
Yeah, how does he even get there?
Yeah, magic.
Well,
not magic.
You know what? No, it is magic because as we have talked about, by the time that happens, his subconscious has emerged.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
His magic powers are there. He just can't access them consciously.
So his subconscious magical powers gets him back to the donut garden, and he does an apology, which she does not accept. And then later she says, now you have to apologize while doing a series of humiliating things.
And she can see his subconscious.
Yes.
Yeah. So
which leads credence to your theory.
Yeah. So Jake and his subconscious have to like do some dances. Jake has to have some flowers stuffed in his man baby underpants. And then finally, once his powers are restored, he saves Finn and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes. But at the end of the episode, he steals her cane.
Yeah.
And that's the end. So this is interesting the way that this show got broken up. In our show, I mean, that these two episodes coming next to each other, they're like the same episode. It's a morality tale with no real moral, and at the end, a character steals to show that they've learned nothing over the course of the episode.
Yeah. Because how is stealing the witch's cane not gonna cause her to like curse Jake again?
Yeah, no, it's the end of the episode is one of the characters steals in against the entire point of the rest of the episode.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jake crying and his subconscious dying, I think, is subterfuge. I think he learns no lessons. This entire thing is he just needs his magic back so he can save Finn.
Yeah, he's just being manipulative. Yeah, I mean, we've brought this up a lot. Like, I think the whole first season has a lot of Finn being in an incredibly dangerous world that he doesn't understand, and Jake keeping him safe.
Yeah.
And Jake it's like the only thing that he really, truly cares about. Lady Rainicorn. He likes Lady Rainicorn, and he likes Finn. But Lady Rainicorn doesn't need his help.
True.
Because she's already a badass.
Yeah.
But Finn's just a 10-year-old kid.
Powers.
Yeah. So Jake's whole thing is, I'm going to keep my little brother safe.
All right, so that was the Witch's Garden. Garden of Witches.
The Witch's Garden.
Yes.
Okay, now it's time for our favorite segment. Hey, look at this shiny rock I found.
Exactly.
So, do you have a shiny rock for us
today?
I
have a few little shiny rocks.
Okay.
We're going to start with this one. It is the term Tmesis.
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 This feels like it's a familiar word. Can you use it in a sentence?
Not without giving away the definition totally.
Well, then I'm going to use it in a sentence. I just learned the other day that my friend down the street has like a dozen Tmesis.
Yeah, that's definitely not it. Tmesis is the splitting of a word with another word, like abso-fucking-lutely.
Oh, so it's not a portmanteau. It's like a...
No, it's like the TM in it is like appendectomy. It's like to split, to cut. I think that's from Greek.
Oh.
So yeah, Tmesis. So it's like, yeah, abso-fucking-lutely. Like it's, splitting up a word and throwing another word in the middle. It doesn't have to be...
That's luda ridiculous.
Yes. Okay, so that's that one. It's a good one. And another one, which it sounds like a Pokemon, but Growlix.
Oh, I can use that one in a sentence.
You know what Growlix is?
Yeah, I was down at the beer mongers the other day, and they had a really, really good beer on tap. And so I wanted to get a growler, but in order to do that, I had to talk to the Growlix.
Yeah, that is the second definition.
Okay.
The first definition is it's the string of random kind of exclamation point, pound sign, @ sign, when people swear in comics.
Oh, really? I didn't know that had a word.
I didn't either. That's why there was a shiny rock I just
Holy
found.
shit, that's a good shiny rock. I'm writing that one down.
Yeah.
Growlix.
Grawlix.
Grawlix.
Lix.
Oh, yeah, that's not spelled the same as the Growlix that I used in a sentence.
Oh, yeah, that's probably the difference. Yeah, it's also
yeah.
slightly different than the Pokemon.
Yeah. I think the Pokemon is with an EX.
I don't know. I'm going to give one more just because these are screenshots that I'm not going to be able to find after a while.
Okay.
I don't know how to pronounce this, so we're just going with this way.
Okay.
Utkier is an Old English word meaning lying awake before dawn and worrying.
Oh.
Uhtceare.
See, I like to call that Donxiety.
Donxiety is very nice.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
We like that a lot. That one I found from Mental Floss, a very fine website. But they didn't give the pronunciation guide. But Utkier.
Okay, those are some good ones. I think Tmesis and Growlix are probably things that I will be able to... Those are words that I will be able to use.
Oh, yeah, those are like actually useful words. Yeah. The Utkier is just, I wanted it off my phone because I saved it and I figured just, that's a subsection word. That's a vaguely shiny, needs to go in the polisher word.
I am going to teach the word Growlix to young children instead of swearing. I mean, like, the next time you feel like you need to say, like, fuck or shit or something like that, instead, just say Growlix.
I don't know if it works out loud like that, but sure.
Why not? Like, oh, Growlix. I can't believe I stepped in some Growlix.
Yeah, it's like in future sci-fi, they always have to invent a word like fark or whatever. Yeah.
Battlestar Galactica.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, this is, are we nearing the end of our episode? Are there things, should we talk about should we give our fine, extremely handsome listeners their call to action?
Yeah, let's give them their call to action.
Okay, extremely fine listeners. Your real call to action is to go find your favorite or least favorite person who enjoys Adventure Time and tell them about this podcast. In fact, get them to subscribe. Watch them on their phone as they subscribe in their favorite podcast player and tell them which episode to download and listen to.
Yes.
That is your call to action. But also, in general, if you want to help support us, please follow us on Twitter, and we have Instagram.
We have Instagram, but
we haven't used it yet.
I think I posted one thing saying episode 2 is up, and I literally just put some text over a picture of Adventure Time.
Yeah, there's a point in time where I'm sure we're going to use Instagram, but for now, Twitter is the place to follow us. So follow us on Twitter, Wiz Biz Podcast.
Yes.
And then our website is wizbizpodcast.com, and you can find out how to subscribe there. So, so until next time, I'm Reverend Erik.
And I'm, the Archduke of Funk. What did I say I was earlier?
I don't know, Alexx, King of Glan Bullen.
Yeah, perfect. Love it.
Okay.
All right, see you next time.
Yeah, see you next time. Adios.
Goodbye, Gunter.